The Little Women follows four sisters in poverty. Well, not poverty, but they're not like upper class in America back in just right after the Civil War. And my whole knowledge about Little Woman was I had none. I knew nothing about it. All I knew actually was there was an episode of Friends that Joey read the book. As far as I know, I could be thinking of something completely different, but I'm pretty sure it was an episode of Friends where Joey read this book. So that's all I knew. I knew it was a book. For all I know, there could have been 10 movies about this 10 other movies about this book. I don't know. My knowledge of this movie is very minimal. Didn't see a trailer and I had no interest whatsoever in seeing it. The only reason I actually did go see it is because it got nominated for Best Act, or got Saoirse Ronan got nominated for Best Actress, and then Florence Pugh, who I think is probably the best part about this movie as well. I think she's a phenomenal actress. She got Best Supporting Actress as well as it got Best, or it got it got Best Film, I think, this year. I'm pretty sure it got a nomination for the best movie of the year. But I said, okay, you know what? All these nominations, I will go see it. And I'm very surprised. This movie, it's 2 hours or so, but the first hour I found to be really boring and like I just didn't enjoy it. Where this is a period piece, and for me, this is not my type of genre at all. I don't really like period pieces. Like I think two of them came out last year, and I didn't see either of them because I just had no interest in them because I really don't like these kind of period piece movies. But I just heard so much buzz about this. I said, okay, I'll go see it, and I left really surprised. As I said, the first half I wasn't really tracking along with it, but then the second half I really enjoyed it. I started really coming around to the characters, and I got really involved with their lives, and I just kind of wanted them all to come out on top. So I was really surprised how this movie was able to turn me around in such a massive way because I really wasn't expecting much from it. As well, Emma Watson, no idea she was in this movie. So when she came on, I'm like, holy crap! And this is okay. Bearing in mind, I've only ever seen them in the Harry Potter movies as well as Belle, Beauty and the Beast, but this is her best role. I don't know, she could have done loads of other great stuff, but for me personally, this is the best she's ever been in the movie. So I'm actually really looking forward to seeing what Emma Watson does next. And up until this point, I didn't really care. Florence Pugh, phenomenal actress. She just her third movie of the year, and every one of them has just been incredible for me. I'm really excited to see her in Black Widow next year. Saoirse Ronan, I'm not really a massive fan of her. I thought she was really good in this movie, but I seen Lady Bird, and it's the only other thing I've seen her in. I didn't like that movie, so I kind of got really. I didn't like her because I really didn't like her in that movie. But this movie, she's great in it, and I don't know the other actress's name who plays the fourth sister, but she's really really good, especially for someone who I had no idea who she was. So I was very surprised to see how good this woman was. As well, you do have Laura Dern, who is having a phenomenal year this year. She got nominated for Best Supporting Actress, not for this, but for Marriage Story, and she's just incredible. Everything she's in, she gives 100%, and I just love seeing every time Laura Dern actually does come on screen. For a movie that's not in my genre whatsoever, my genre is action, comedies, all that kind of stuff. Historical period pieces, they're 100% at the bottom. I'm not really interested in these movies whatsoever. I've seen a few to know, yeah, I don't really enjoy these kind of movies, but this movie was a pleasant surprise. I think the way it was filmed was a massive kind of bonus for me, and the reason I think I actually enjoyed it a lot more was just because of the way it was filmed. The fact that I went from A to B, then back to A, and then back to B, the way it jumped around with time a lot, I actually think that helped the story a lot, because if this movie was told exactly completely in linear, it wouldn't have made sense. There would have been a lot of problems there, because the way this movie, it has the future, and then it kind of mentions something about the past, and it'll jump back in the past, and you get about 5-10 minute sequence there showing why this happened or why this is important, this line of dialogue. So the way it goes back and forth, that is 100% really kept me entertained, and I'm kind of glad that it did, because there was a guy in my screening who left after about half an hour, and at that stage I was thinking, you know what, I might copy him, because the first hour was very boring, very disappointing, but then the second hour came and I actually really enjoyed it. The second half was by far my favorite part about this movie, because the first half was really boring because it was setting up a lot of stuff and I didn't know where it was going, and I just wasn't invested. But then the second act came, I'm like, yeah, I really like this. And then the third act came, the way the whole thing wraps up, I'm like, yeah, this is not what I was expecting from this movie. I was really surprised. I understand all the Oscar buzz about this movie because it's phenomenal. I really did enjoy this movie. I don't think it's a movie I'd ever watch again. It's a movie that I wouldn't really recommend unless you're one of these massive historical period piece movie fans, or you're just a major fan of the book. But if you haven't anything like that, if you don't like anything like that, I wouldn't really recommend it to you, because it's good, but it's not really one of those movies that you must see. It's like if it's on Netflix maybe one night and you're bored, of course watch it, but it's not one I can say you should really rush out and see it in the cinema, because it's not really mandatory to see this movie in the cinema. But if you have seen this movie, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Click that subscribe button so you see other movie reviews just like this one, and as always, thanks for watching.